I don't know when, but Gen 5 remakes are coming at some point. The question that keeps me up at night is how they'll remake Gen 5. What's up, everyone? It's Dusty. Welcome back to my headcanon. They'll probably want to remake the original Black and White, but would that mean the exclusion of a Black 2, White 2 remake? Maybe they can make a game that incorporates both stories into a single game. I mean, this is the only generation to get a numbered sequel. Is that enough precedence to suggest we'd eventually get a Black 3, White 3? And what's the quality of these games gonna look like? Modern engine, faithful remake, legend style. I don't think anyone wants a let's go Oshawott. There's a few possible timelines to predict how these Gen 5 games will roll out. Let's try to figure this out. Generation 5, it was the first revamp of the series. So we've got the debut Black and White, and then we've got the sequel to Black and White, Black 2 and White 2. It's tough for me to determine which game would be remade. I mean, I think the track record shows that they would remake Black and White and exclude Black 2, White 2. They could do a thing where, you know, they remake Black and White, but they include all of the, like, all the extras and the add-ons from Black 2 and White 2. And I would only say that because Black 2, White 2 are completely different games, right? I feel like Platinum, Emerald, Crystal version, they have elements that are new, but they really are the same exact game. And I feel like Black 2, White 2 is the only third version sequel that is really a brand new game. Option 1 for the Black and White remake is that they literally remake Black and White and Black 2, White 2 with a faithful remake style. Option 2 is they remake the original Generation 5 game, Black and White, but they inject all of the additions that were added to Black 2 and White 2. Option 3 is starting to sound like the most plausible solution, and that is a reboot of the Generation 5 game. So this isn't a remake per se. This type of game would be akin to Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. The story setting is the same as Black and White in Unova, but the plot takes place from a new perspective for whatever this new protagonist is. This game would expand the Unova map to include all of the areas that are available in Black 2, White 2. This game could further establish itself as the spiritual Black 3, White 3 if it can successfully touch on and expand on the following topics. I think if this game is set 10 years after the events of Black 2 and White 2, we can see all the characters expanded upon new locations, the aftermath of Team Plasma. I want to see what happened to N. What are my rivals doing now? We need a really good shuffle of the gym leaders of the Elite Four. One of the biggest things that needs to be solved is really about the original dragon. Gen 5 set up so much lore around the original dragon, the dragon that was split into 3 parts we know as Kiram, Reshiram, and Zekrom, but that lore needs an explanation. What does the final dragon actually look like? If I had to speculate, I could see this being dragon normal type, maybe just a pure dragon type as well. The features that a Gen 5 remake could touch on include an expansion of the seasons mechanic. Also, they should introduce brand new locations that have never existed before in the Unova region. I think that'd be really cool. Generation 5 introduced triple and rotation battles. It introduced the Dream World with or with hidden abilities rather. Maybe this game can unlock a fourth potential hidden ability for a lot of Pokemon. That would forever change the competitive landscape. Whatever we end up with, as long as it's a thoughtful project by Game Freak, I'm gonna be happy. If this game ends up being a cheaply made faithful remake like BDSP, a lot of people will not forgive Game Freak. And of course, the question everyone is asking, will the Gen 5 remakes be 2D, chibi, or fully open world 3D? I think it's too early to make a fair prediction, but I really think if they're gonna make another 2D game, something like Octopath Traveler, and Game Freak can finally return to its roots in game development. Now that it's been a decade of 3D Pokemon, I feel like people are hungering for a return, a throwback to pixel art Pokemon. I mean, that was the foundation of the franchise for 15 years. We don't have that any longer, but I would love it. Any sort of remake or port or just I want Game Freak to embrace pixel art once more, because you can really only go so far with a 3D Pokemon game before you enter that uncanny valley of like trying to be realistic. I think Gen 10 is a great opportunity to introduce all these new styles of Pokemon games similar to The Legend of Zelda and the Mario franchise. Both of these titles have multiple different iterations of their IP. I think Pokemon has been kind of tiptoeing trying to do this with Let's Go, Legends, and the faithful remakes, but I think at some point, regardless of sales numbers, they need to put their foot down and actually just commit commit to giving us a series of these different types of games. Because now I'm thinking after like 2030, right? These numbers are getting ridiculous. But like, what if that far into the future, we're getting pixel art versions of the 3D titles? If you're still watching and like this style of video, hit subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck hunting.